What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. In this episode, we'll be previewing the absolutely huge game against Sydney tomorrow afternoon. Let's get into it. In what is the last game of the round, but probably one of the biggest games of the round, these last two rounds are just huge. Just every single game sort of affects the top 4, the top 8, even the top 10, really. But this game against Sydney is huge for a lot of reasons. Sydney need to win to jump into the top 4. Collingwood need to win to cement themselves into the top 4. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that we are in this position. And yes, we've won 11 in a row, but Sydney are on a 5 in a row win streak as well after disposing of the Kangaroos last week. And we got one over Melbourne. So it's just going to be a really, really intense, fast, furious game. Now, the Swans, I don't know if you've seen a lot of the Swans play. I've watched a couple of their games this season. They are, especially in the last few weeks, maybe in the last pretty much 5 weeks, quick. They're kind of our sort of game style as well. So they're getting the ball quick. They're not afraid to run. They're not afraid to carry, kick long into the 50 because they know that McDonald or Franklin, Papley, Isaac Heaney, Warner when he's kind of pushing in there as well. They know that someone is going to either take a mark, bring it to ground, and one of their crummers are going to kick at goal. But their run, their carry, the way that they're hitting those 45-degree kicks to go into the corridor, they're not afraid to take that kick. It reminds me very much of what Collingwood's doing and what we're doing. So it's going to be a game of two same styles. So it's going to be an exciting game of football. It should be a very high-scoring game of football as well. The Swans know how to play football. I know that sounds really stupid, but they really do. And if it's not the Pies winning the grand final, and I know on Twitter I've said Geelong, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sydney just kind of just take it home because they're a great football team to watch. I don't really have anything personal against Sydney either, so I wouldn't mind seeing them take it. But they're just exciting. Like Collingwood, like watching us, they're very exciting. A couple of key stats that kind of stick out to me with Sydney this season is that they're second in total for points per game. I think they're second for tackles as well. They're first for least opposition disposals per game. So they like to put a chokehold on the opposition and not let them get the ball, not let them get their run and carry. Now, we've seen throughout these last 11, 12, maybe just this last season with Collingwood, is that if we can't play that sort of fast game plan, and Melbourne really restricted us in that first half, if we can't play that fast running, hands-on game plan, I guess Ed Layman was right, we kind of are that sort of, to simplify it, that one-trick pony, that is a real simplified sort of thing, that run and carry. So if we let Sydney possess the ball on their terms, not give it really up to us, that's not going to help us win the game. We need to get the ball back off them. And the beauty about it is we're a high-pressuring, high-tackling side as well. Like I said, Sydney and Collingwood, they're pretty much the same. They just live in different states at the moment. So I think that the main area that we're going to win this game in is our defensive pressure, tackles in our forward 50, and this tackles in general. Now, last week, especially in that last quarter of football, we really put that pressure on Melbourne, really had them fumbling the ball. That high-intensity, high-pressure forward game and just around the ground is something that we definitely have to replicate against the Sydney Swans. And especially because we tend to, we're high risk, high reward, we tend to turn the ball over a little bit more than we should. I think we're ranked 3rd for clangers in a game. You give that to Sydney and then it's all over because you kick it to Buddy, you kick it to Papley. Their forward line is just that immense. And look, our back line, I do rate them. We've done well, 11 wins in a row. They're going to have their work cut out for them. Sam Reid as well. I honestly forgot that Sam Reid was playing, but Sam Reid's there as well. They've got Goulden as well, McDonald. So Howe, Murphy, Quaynor. Not so much Nick Dacos, but I guess as a halfback, Johnny Noble, Darcy Moore, they are definitely going to have their work cut out for them. That's why I would have loved to have seen Will Kelly come in because another tall option down back would have been perfect. Even imagine someone that's a little bit more taller, pushes Nick up the ball, pushes Isaac Quaynor out a little bit, and Johnny Noble go sort of tall against Franklin and all those tall guys they've got there. But nevertheless, we're not the coaches. We don't really know what they're thinking or anything really. So we just got to back them, and we've got to back our defense because we have been absolutely smashing these teams, and it's all because of it's a team defense. That's what I love about this team so much. One guy peels off, another guy comes in, filling the holes. You saw it a lot against Melbourne. It's a really good team defense, and they're going to have their work cut out for them, but it's going to go a long way in our season if we can get it over Sydney. Another area of our game that we do really need to improve on, obviously, is our clearance work. Craig McRae again came out and said it in his presser that our clearance work needs to do a little bit better. So now Mason Cox and Darcy Cameron will go up predominantly against Tom Hickey. So Sydney are ranked pretty low. I think they're about 14th in hit-outs at the moment, but they've got a good enough centre around them where they can just, get those centre clearances. I think they were plus like 15 on just normal clearances against the Kangaroos last week. So we know that we're no good at centre clearances, right? Because no Taylor Adams, Jordan De Goey will go in there, Jamie Elliott will go in there. But Melbourne ate us up last week in centre clearances. We've got to get better at that. Even if we're not winning them, even if we're defending them, or instead of a centre clearance, they're getting clean and they're going into their 50, even if they're spreading out onto the wing, that's more of a win than it is them getting a clean possession into their 50 if Franklin takes the mark. So that's another, where this game's going to be won and lost as well, is in the centre. We need to get either first hands or we need to put bodies smashing into them so we can stop them from entering their forward 50, because we know that with this 6-6-6 rule, it's so much easier to score from the centre than it used to be about 5 or so years ago. In regards to personnel, I've touched on Will Kelly, but we're going in unchanged, so that means that Will Hoskin-Elliott is ready to go. There is a bit of a rumour that got sent to me that Jordan De Goey won't play, that he'll be a late out because he done something to his abductor or just his leg. I don't want to believe it. I can't really verify it. I'm trying to, but I can't verify it. So take that with a grain of salt at the moment, but don't be shocked if it does happen. You heard it here first. But if De Goey doesn't play, if he is injured and doesn't play, that's going to hurt us. That's really, really going to hurt us because he's a game breaker and we absolutely need him there. But I think going in with an unchanged lineup is a pretty good idea because we not smashed Melbourne, but we beat Melbourne last week with this lineup. Back him in to beat the Sydney Swans. At the start of the video, I said this was a big game for our top 4 chances. I think it's just a bigger game in general for Collingwood to stamp their authority on the league and media. No one is saying that we're going to win this game. So it's all Sydney. It's all Sydney. It's all Sydney. It's all Sydney. And, for good reason too, like I've touched on. We're a bit of an enigma this season. Like Craig McRae said, we've got no ceiling. We're still trying to find out where we sit in this AFL world. Currently, I think 3rd now because Brisbane just won. If we want to make a dent in finals, I'm not saying win a grand final this year, but if we want to make a dent, win a game or two, we need to beat Sydney. Not enough to say if we lose to Sydney and we end up finishing 5th or 6th on the ladder, we're going to not make a mess in finals. That's just, everyone wants that top 4 spot. Everyone wants that double chance. We need to show the AFL world that we can play. We can match it with the best, and we did it last week against Melbourne, and people are still saying, oh, but blah, 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 XYZ, excuse. So we always have to constantly prove ourselves as Collingwood supporters, and we can't rely on any other teams to win, to lose, because once you start relying on other teams' results, it just means that you haven't worked hard enough throughout the season to be in a position where you don't need to. Look, do you reckon Geelong's relying on whoever else it is to win? No, because they've put themselves in a position where they don't have to do that, and the minor premiership is pretty much theirs anyway. So, Collingwood needs to come out and make a huge statement. Just like they did against Melbourne, they need to make an even bigger one. And it's probably going to be another hard stopper. How can we tip against Collingwood this week? I think Collingwood are going to win by 6. I think Collingwood are going to win by 8 points, actually. It's going to be another close one. It's going to be another heart stopper. It's either, look, I know this is so weird to say, it's either Collingwood win by 8 points or Sydney win by 40. It's one of those games that could go either way. I don't see Sydney winning a close game. I see us winning the close game. But, like I said, starts in the centre. We've got to pressure them around because Sydney love playing keepings off football. And we love playing fast, hard, get the ball, you're running, you're creating. If Sydney don't allow us to do that, we need a plan B, and let's hope that Craig McRae has it. But anyway, guys, this has just been my quick preview on the huge game against the Swans. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who you think is going to win? How do you think we're going to win? Or why do you think we're not going to win? Would love to know all your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and also next time, Double Shakers. I'll sweep you later.